Hello, everybody. Welcome here to our next, I guess, episode of the diversity series that I would like to talk to you guys about. Diversity and behavior analysis. And in this particular, episode, I want to talk a little bit about the data, right? What is our data indicating? And I want to thank the BACB, site here for providing us some phenomenal data. We're going to be reviewing the data that is basically accessible for anybody to be able to see this. Okay, so this is great. I really appreciate this because we know for sure, or the most updated information where we're at in regards to some of the demographics. Just going off of the top here, some of the general information is as of October 2nd, 2023. It says here the number of individuals holding BACB certification are as follows. So we got 64,626 BCBAs. Okay, and we got 5,431 BCABAs and 151,586 RBTs. So this is really, really great data here. We see that there's a phenomenal ascending trend here. That's an increase each year. We have more and more certificates at the BCBA level. The BCAB, I see a little drop here. Okay, so we went from 5,580 to 5,431, which is a small drop here. Now the number that really spiked, and this is really good to see because we want to see more RBTs in our field. We actually had more RBTs. Okay, so this number went from 130,000 to 151,000. So we had 21,000 approximately increase there. Now let's get into really the main area that we want to talk about. This is demographic data. Okay, so we want to know who is currently being certified through the BACB, which honestly is our main certification board for any practitioner out there. And as of January 4th, 2023, so this is almost a year ago, right? A year ago, we're almost going into the 2024 date. I'm curious to see what the new data. I'm for sure going to have a new episode that's going to talk about the new data. But this is as of early this year, January 4th. We're going to start off with the overall data. So for the aspect of, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. See if I can add some more. Zoom in. So basically what we're seeing here is that the 52.76 reported for white, so people that were classified as white, which is the majority. Okay, Hispanic or Latinx, we had 21.39%. We had Black 10.93%. Asian 7.07%. American Indian or Alaska Native 0.40%. There was some individuals that didn't want to answer responses with 6.86, almost 7%. We had Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders at 0.58. Okay, so it's pretty clear to see that overall this is where we're at right now. The demographics based on the data that was presented by the BACB. When we look at the RBT level, doesn't change that much. We have 45.25. It's still the majority is white. Latinx is still in second place, 26.33. Black in third place, 14.39%. We have Asian 6.32, American Indian or Alaska Native 0.47, and no answer at 6.55. For the BCABA, race and ethnicity, similar numbers. We still are at 45%. Hispanic 20.58, Black 3.78, Asian is 23.02. Okay, so actually increases right now. We see the Asian population goes up in regards to the BCABA. American Indian, Alaska Native is 0.19%, and no answer was 6.51. And now moving on to the tier of BCBAs and BCBADs. The number for white actually increases. It goes, if you guys were able to see that at the RBT level, we had 45%. For the BCBA, it went up to 69%. Wow. Okay, so that's a really significant increase there, 69%. Okay, so we see that for Hispanic, Latinx, still in second place, but the number goes down. Okay, so at the RBT level, we have Latinx at 26%. For the BCB or BCBD level, we have 11%. So it really drops tremendously as you see regards to the demographics, the diversity part of when it go to the BCBA, BCBAD level, it really drops. Okay, for Black, we got 4.21, Asian 7.39. American Indian or Alaska Native is 0.28, and no answer was 7.56. Okay, really interesting. Okay, so this is really interesting data here. Honestly, I haven't looked at this information. You know, I'm literally just going through it with you guys. I'm getting this reaction right now as I'm going through it with you guys. So for sure, there's a need to have more diversity at the BCBA level. Okay, because if you think about it, when you look at treatment, programs and you're writing behavior plans and working with families as a whole, there's a pretty big, group that we serve, right? That is non-white. Okay, so there is a need for more, diversity at this level. Okay, the data shows it. Okay, it indicates, and we are seeing obviously increases. I think there's some increases, and we'll look at the next data that's coming up. We'll see if there's some more diversity going on at this level, but it is really incredible to see that there's a pretty significant difference. When you look at like I said, at the RBT level to the BCBA level. Okay. Let's look at gender a little bit. Okay, this is really interesting too. So overall, 85.15% for female, okay, and 13.12 for males. 1.17 had no answer, 0.07 other, and non-binary 0.49. Okay, so predominantly female field. Okay, so based on this data, for RBT, the same data holds. 84.36% was for female. For male was 13.7. No answer was 1.20. Other was 0.10, non-binary is 0.64. At the BC-ABA level, it still holds. We're looking at 86% for female. Male was 12.93. No answer was 0.76. Other was 0.02. Non-binary is 0.21. At the BCBA, BCBA-D level, same thing. So you see that, across the board, the female gender is the predominantly the main gender. So even then, I would argue that there's a need for more male presence in our field. Why? Because a lot of our clients we serve are actually males, right? So there is definitely a need for even diversity at that level. Okay, so this is really interesting data. Okay, we're going out to age range. So really interesting here. The 25 to 34%, 25 to 34 year range is at 45%. Okay, so that is the biggest population. Okay, we have this the group here 18 to 24 is at 20%. Okay, 35 to 44 is at 20.81%, and we got the 45 to 54, which is a 9.56%. 55 to 64, 3.5%, 65 over 0.73. So what does this tell us? It tells us that we are a very young field. Okay, it is pretty obvious here that based on this information that the majority, if you kind of look at the data, if you combine the data between the 18 up to 34 year range, it's the majority of it. Okay, so it's a really young field. Okay, so that's really interesting there. Okay, really interesting facts. At the RBT level, it doesn't really change much. We see that 25 to 34 is 44%. 18 to 24 is 30%. So it went up a little bit, I think, based on the overall. It went up a little bit there. So 35 to 44, 13.53. 45 to 54, 7.57. 55 to 64 is 3%. 65 over was 0.73%. Okay. BCABA level. Okay, so that one changes up a little bit. Okay, so for the 35 to 44 range, it dropped a little bit. It went up a little bit to 29.85%. The regards to the 25 to 34%, it went up to 44.93. 45 to 54 range is 14.89. 55 to 64 is 5.80. 65 or over is 1.01. Okay, 18 to 24 is 3.53. For the BCBA, BCBA-D level, okay, so the majority of our BCBAs and BCBA-Ds fall in this range, which is a 25 to 34 range, which once again is a really young, group here. We're talking about that the ranges, this field, the people that are making the decisions in our field are young, right? So it's a good thing, and it definitely shows that it's a growing field. Okay, 35 to 44 is at 35%. Okay, 45 to 54, 13.23. 55 to 64, 4.33. 65 or over, 0.72. 18 to 24 is 0.88. Okay, so those are this is just an emphasis in regards to what kind of focus there are. So majority of people I guess in our field are focused on the autism spectrum disorder, which makes sense. I mean, that's where the majority of the funding is at. That's where our major specialty tends to be at. But this information is really cool. I like this. Once again, thank you so much, to the certification board, the BACB, for providing this information. As a practitioner, someone that's really interested in this information, this really means a lot. And I really like to know this, because for me now, I guess the question is, what can we do? What can we do as a field to be able to diversify, to create more diversity in our field? And as we could tell, it's not just the whole aspect of race, but also even gender, right? How can we be able to get more males in our field? Because we have a pretty big, population of male clients in our field. And in regards to the diversity side, how can we be able to get more diversity at the BCBA, BCBAD level? Especially that, once again, we are the ones making those decisions. When you're at the BCBA level, we are the ones that are writing those behavior plans. We are the ones submitting those treatment plans. And we are the ones sometimes having those conversations in regards to parent participation and all that stuff that's really important. So I'll leave this particular session with this in mind. I want you guys to think about this. I want you guys to maybe write there a comment. I'm really interested. I'm curious to know what could we do. I have my own ideas. I mean, for me, honestly, like the way I see it is, I feel like the more diversity we have in our field, the more probability there is going to be that people from diverse backgrounds will want to join the field, right? If you see, for example, I had my sons, they had a nurse coming out to speak to the school, the high school, about their field, and there was diversity there, right? So that allowed for these students to be able to understand that career could be an opportunity, especially if they see that the speaker is someone that they could relate to, right? So I think that's something that could help. I think that we need to go more into being able to present ourselves better in our community, being able to get involved in high schools, even elementary. We can start talking to the kids about what we do. Like, for example, one that I tell my kid, my daughter, who's currently in elementary, like what I do. So these are things, like I said, that we can do. I think our community is growing. That's just normal. It also comes with the reality that we're still a growing field. We're still a very young field, like based on the numbers we're seeing here, that we're still a very, very young field. So I think it's going to get better. I think it's going to improve. I think we're going to start noticing a shift in that. But I think it also starts with having these conversations like the one that we're having here. Okay, having this discussions and really, like they say, addressing the elephant in the room. Okay, so really what's going on? Why aren't we seeing more diversity? I know that there's a lot of conversations at conferences. There's a lot of talks about what can the field do to do that, and also to welcome more people. So I think it's going to change. I think it's going to get better, but it will be a process, okay? And right now, this is where we stand. If you want to consider this our current baseline or current levels, this is where we stand. And I think it's still a work in progress. Okay, so please make sure to leave a comment once again there. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope this video is of interest for you. We'll be making more videos in the upcoming weeks. The holidays are around the corner, so I know we're all getting ready for the holidays, so I really hope you're all having a good one out there with the families. And you guys take care. Peace.